Hey, this is the community and graduation call for the 21st of October 2025. So we've kind of got two meetings in one today. The calendar invite still says graduation call, which it might for a little bit of time until we can figure out how to fix that. That is one of the items that we probably need to talk about. But the first part, I guess, are we going to do the community call part first? Do we all agree that's fine, I guess? I guess probably sensible.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So I guess the only item right here is the KSC elections. I'm trying to see if there was anything else we didn't talk about from last time. Maybe the Kubeflow summit we should probably copy and paste from last time as well. Yes, that's probably good. So, does someone have the ability to talk about this?
I think that we don't have the election officers on the call today, but at least that is the verbatim of the message that has been sent both on the GitHub repos and on the Google Groups mailing list. So for everybody watching this recording or attending this meeting live, please be aware that we have the nomination phase, which is open. So there is a GitHub issue where you can nominate somebody from the list of eligible candidates. So there are instructions on the links provided. So if you want to show your support for somebody who is eligible, that has been contributed to the community and you think it could be a great candidate for the KSC, don't hesitate to add your comment there. And for more details, people can reference the highlighted links in the original message to the GitHub issue.
Yep. I think last time we said that you could nominate people who technically weren't eligible, but it's like, you know what I mean? I think there's some discussion about that. Maybe we should indicate that, but I think someone said it already, but it's fine, I guess. Cool. So any other things you want to add there? Just look at it, I guess. Nominate people. The eligible people from a technical perspective, not from the restriction perspective, are all the eligible voters. For reference.
There is a separate list just further down. These are the ones that can vote later, but the eligible candidates are these ones here.
Yeah,
so
strictly speaking,
yeah. They cannot be elected, but they can be candidated.
Yeah, because it's kind of causes a complicated situation to happen if they are elected. So in some cases, if you happen to break the more than one person per company.
As the election officer clarified in GitHub issue, before making the nominee as a separate file that will take in place before the voting, we are in the nomination phase. So anybody that can be a candidate can be nominated. There will be separate gates and the procedure that will follow in light of the voting and the election of the KSC to respect all the previous agreement that are noted in the instruction for the voting.
Cool. Okay, any other topics we need to add there? I guess when's the voting starting? It's a while away, so next month.
The spreadsheet, if you open the first link, is a spreadsheet with the timeline. So we are in the nomination phase. Currently, it says not started, but this is where we are. And then there will be the testimonial. So I'm not an election officer, so I'm just trying to make the best summary that I can. In this phase, if you are watching the recording or you are presenting the meeting, you would like to nominate somebody who have done a great contribution to the community, this is the part where you can say their names. The next phase will be testimonial. So the election officer will work with the nominees to eventually create a file. It's like, you know, when you run for election, then people will have their file that can say what, like a bio that present what that person may be. And after the testimonial phase will end, there will be the proper voting. So this is the part where only people who are eligible to make a vote will be able to submit their votes for the actual candidates that will be made during the testimonial phase, and then the election result will be presented by the electing officer.
Thank you for that. Any other comments people want to make?
Can we nominate more than one person?
Yep,
Is
I
that
believe so. I think you can even nominate yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw one comment, like 2 people. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, there's no rules against that, as long as they're eligible.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I think also
Show the
just
support.
Oh.
Yeah, show your support. I think it's like this is the best time to show where you want to recognize somebody for their efforts, and then of course making it a nominee and eventually voting, it will be another story. But this is the part where you can elevate the people who are in the eligible list to be present here.
yeah, I just wanted, like, I think as last year we discussed, don't be scared to nominate yourself. It's actually a good thing. Like, you don't need to find anyone to, nominate, to be nominated. Like, definitely, please, feel free to nominate yourself, or, tell anyone who just want to, run for KSC. Also feel free to add your comment here. But we're looking for, more active people in the community who can drive project forward. Yeah, so definitely looking forward for this.
Cool. Of course, for people who, this is a very like strategic kind of leadership role. If you want to be a leadership of components, you don't need to be on the KSC. You can be a committer without that. I just want to highlight that for people. There's a lot more committer positions, if you will, than there is KSC positions. And I'm sure every working group would love more people to reach out. Certainly notebooks is always good. I'm sure those two. Any other topics on this section, or are we going to move to, I just want to quickly highlight that KubeCon is happening next. Do we know what the status of the booth is? Because I know we've got a very small amount of time now to prepare this. I think last time we briefly discussed the idea of having slide decks from each of the working groups that we could rotate through, and we could have some notes for the people at the booth to present them. I really think we should do something like that, just because it's a great place to get visibility to the project. Certainly in notebooks, that's what we plan to do. Even if we're not always there to present it, it's good to have a slide deck for the people who are there, and also just looping for the background. Andre, do you have any comments on that, or?
So yeah, I think Tarek, are you here? Do you have any updates from Valentina, or you might be aware of anything which is going on there on the booth?
Not that much actually. We have a link that contained like the spreadsheet for the booth, but that's all the information that that I know. I can. Do you already have that link, Matthew? Or
which one?
There is a spreadsheet that contains like the. Yes,
it's a very basic kind of spreadsheet for timelines, I think, but yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
So we need to logistically organize when, if we're going to have people there the whole time or not, and if so, we should just, because it's good to leave notes on the booth as to like when you're going to have people there, and and then also we do need to make some material, I think.
Yes, exactly, and I need also to check maybe with Chase as well, because he was. I'm not sure if he, he's not in the call, but I can check with him. Because I mean, he said that he would be also there most of the day, and also was preparing something to present during the booth time as well. But let me try to get back near for that.
Certainly, we should put a note out to the maintainers of each major component and be like, hey, you should make a piece of material for whatever you think is the most important thing for people to see. Like, for example, in notebooks, we're going to be showing off notebooks 2.0. Whether or not it's finalized, obviously, it's still going to just be a presentation of what it is. And there'll be some notes for the people who are at the booth so that they don't have to be an expert. But
I think what would be nice if Tarek, like you or Valentina, can drive it is to arrange a scheduler, because I think Matthew is right. We definitely want to have a lot of presentation on the booth, and we need to have some sort of way to tell people, hey, like in this time frame at 2 p.m. we're going to present notebooks 2.0, then we're going to present data cache, then we're going to present KFP, right? So we need to find a way, and I hope you can help us with that, to kind of tell people when they should come if we want to learn more, and we can use social media resources or Slack or other places, right? So who can who can be driving these agenda items for the booth?
Yeah, unfortunately I will not be able to attend, but I think Valentina would be attending. But unfortunately she couldn't join today. But I can sync maybe with her as well.
I think we should probably have a list of all the major components and try and have each working group just put 3 slides together, like just say, here's 3 slides being like the things you care about the most, and here's some basic notes so that someone at the booth, even if they're not a maintainer of that component, could talk to it, I mean, of course, components don't have to do this. I just think we should suggest that they do it.
Yeah, I can maybe drive that if you want. Just create this and try to reach out to the working group leads to create maybe, as you mentioned, like a couple of slides and that we can present in the booth.
Yep.
What do you think?
I will do that personally. Well, I mean, we're already planning to do that for Notebooks 2.0, but for Matteo, you were going to talk for a second there.
No, I just wanted to mention, Tarek, in the minutes of the meeting for this call, you will find I've already shared a couple of slides from the model registry because we had very similar request from the maintainer summit. So in the notes, you will find already the 2 slides for the model registry. Tarek.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Great that we can start. Yes, thank you.
And of course, it's the booth staff's responsibility to organize how it's going to be displayed and other things like that. But if there is a maintainer there, it would be good to have them at some point present, and we should have that time be known. And it probably shouldn't be on the first day, so that when people walk by, they can find out that it's happening on another day, if you know what I mean. Okay. Any other comments about KubeCon? Let's move on then. Anything else? I think we should at least have notebooks, pipelines. Spark Operator would be great too, but I don't know. There should definitely be people there from that one.
Yeah, I don't have the link for pipeline, but I've seen some recent ones from that working group. So I think that if you reach out to Humair and Math in the pipeline working group, they may have as well some already content.
Okay. For each component. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Okay. Okay, Andre?
Yeah, can we quickly talk about these things, right? So first of all, we release trainer. First release candidate is ready for your testing. So please try this out and let us know if you see any bugs. So we're planning to release the official 2.1 before KubeCon. I think for us it's kind of a big release because we're going to announce a few important features which will be part of it. And like a few of them is kind of like distributed data cache with Arrow and Data Fusion. And this will be part of this release. It's super important, and so we see a lot of kind of like interest from various organizations to get on board and try this out. So really looking forward to having this officially released. And other things around Volcano Scheduler will be there. Some support for LoRa, QLoRa, and Dora for torch-tuned trainers. I think this is also very cool. Similar to this, we're kind of like enhancing support for MPI with allowing people to actually use MPI more reliably and update the APIs and support other like runtimes with MLX as well. And we're also like working towards more integration with KQ. So there are several kind of important API updates we've done over the last month to ensure this integration works great. Yeah, so like anyway, so try this out. This is the first RC, and the official release will be probably in like 1 or 2 weeks, just before KubeCon.
Cool.
Hey, Andre,
Yeah, hi Josh.
can you just give me the 2-sentence distributed data cache kind of user benefit?
Yeah, Josh, I think we lost you.
Can you just perhaps give us the 2 to 3 sentence user benefit for the distributed data cache? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do people care? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think so. Actually, in Russ from my team presented this in the KubeCon London. So there are a lot of kind of, improvements and important pieces this cache is solving. Like one of them is kind of improving GPU utilization. So we try to find a way how, you can process a large amount of data, especially for all those LLMs is very important to, process terabytes of data and how we can effectively get those data to GPU workloads. So right now there is no really kind of simple way for people to stream data directly to GPU nodes. Some folks using Ray for this because Ray allows you to do data processing within Ray cluster and then directly use those nodes to do training. But we try to like what we try to do here, we try to decouple the data layer from the training framework, which allows folks to leveraging other frameworks like Spark or Dask or like Daft to perform data processing, and then using the PyTorch native workloads to perform training. And like in terms of optimization, user benefits is kind of again improving GPU utilization, reduce cost, and allowing to actually process a large amount of data which is not possible within this solution. Like for example, if you have like terabytes of data which cannot be fit on a single GPU, without this you cannot really deal with it to perform distributed training. And of course, there'll be like more improvements on other parts like hyperparameter optimization, for example. When multiple training jobs need to access the same chunk of data, this allows us to kind of pre-fetch this data in cache and then directly stream this to the GPU worker nodes. Yeah, does make sense, Josh, in terms of user value?
Yeah, so it's easier, faster, cheaper, right?
Yep.
What network transports do you support? Or do you use like UCX to unify it?
No, and what do you mean like transport over like data?
Yeah,
Or
so
what do
like
you mean?
obviously like NVLink and like InfiniBand and
Yeah,
Rocky.
the good thing about the solution, all this will be supported. Like you can use NVLink, you can use any other like RDMA or any other, any other network support that you have in your cluster, because this solution is like basically abstracted the layer of basically like it doesn't matter where you run the Kubernetes cluster, you can use this to distribute your data. Because data is sitting like in memory, in data nodes.
I'll have to look into it more to understand, but yes. Cool.
So I know this is really hard, but there is no like quantifiable, lack of a better word, number that we could say, some type of training set will save you 50% or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it's a good question, Josh. So we're working on benchmarks right now, and
Yeah.
we try to kind of measure it. Like the problem is for us, like we need to find kind of I would say like a large example because
Yeah.
we see a lot of benefits when, for example, you process like terabytes of data, which you kind of like need to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm just looking for in it, and all
concrete
of this is,
benchmarks, but it's still in progress.
I think we lost you at the end there, Andre, but
Oh yes, sorry.
if,
one
I
second.
imagine that what you were saying is that you're currently working on benchmarks. Probably would be great to see reference use cases of it. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Like I just want to say again, actually, is working on benchmarks here and there. We'll try to also collaborate with Data Fusion community. So I know for those who don't know, like Data Fusion right now became very popular for like data processing, for ability to kind of like store your data in memory. And actually, definitely can talk more about it if
I think you lost you
Kind
again.
of. Yeah.
Ooh, I think you kind of drop out.
Yes. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you kind of drop out every now and again.
Yeah, I think like again, once we have more concrete, like benchmarks we can show, we definitely will share. But overall, like the data community and ML community kind of would try to stitch all those two groups together. So the solution we have on the data space can benefit the AI workloads as well. Like solution we have in Spark and Data Fusion in all those like other pieces of ecosystem. We try to stitch them together with ML story, like with Torch, with JAX and other part of ecosystem. But yeah, anyway.
Is there one last question? Sorry
Yeah.
that I'm interested in this. Is there some type of special image or type of design of the worker that you need to have? Like, does it need to have a large amount of RAM? Does it need NVRAM? Is there something that is gonna turbocharge this?
Yeah. So again, it depends on your size of the data, right? So one of the good thing in terms of it's saving RAM on your GPU workloads, because like without the solution you have to save your data to the disk, and you have to load your data to the disk before you put the data to the GPU. Like it's kind of like usually how people do distributed training. You kind of download your data, you put it on the disk, and then you take this data from disk to put it on GPU. So if your RAM is lower, like sometimes you can easily get you can get out of memory on your distributed PyTorch workload. So this allows you to reduce the number of RAM you require on your GPU pod, basically, because the data will be streamed directly from the data nodes, rather than having the entire data set on the disk and then partition it using Torch distributed. Yeah, so it's kind of like explained here, but in terms of RAM, it really depends on the size of the data, right?
So to be clear, this is using Apache Arrow. Whoa, crap.
Yeah,
Apache
we're using, so the Arrow is used to, so the Data Fusion allows us to have the in-memory representation of the table. So basically the table, Parquet, like data is sitting in Parquet format. And we kind of like, Data Fusion allows us to have the in-memory representation of this table in Apache Arrow format. And then because this data is in Apache Arrow format, we can perform zero copy to the GPU workers directly. Because Torch or TensorFlow or JAX support this format of the data. It's kind of like, yeah. It's similar to Ray. Like Ray doing exactly the same. So Ray storing your data in Ray workers, and then you can directly get this data to your, to your GPU workloads because it's kind of in memory. But within the context of the Ray cluster.
I would definitely like to see what this looks like on a GB200 or GB300 type system, just because obviously the amount of NVLink is really high. So making sure that it transports over the fastest transport layer.
Yeah. And the question for, we need to probably talk about, for GB200, like how, is there a way for us to, use only like, not using, so having this data sitting on CPU and utilizing the CPU and utilizing GPU only for training, right? So which means like we can, like, use this cluster to more effectively somehow. To not like, use GPU workers for non-GPU task, which is kind of IO tasks, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, we should talk about this later. Yeah, this is definitely just something to think about. Okay, cool. Any other topics there we want to move on before we go to the next one? KF Trainer, any other topics you want to add for the release?
Yeah, please try this out. Let us know for any, problems or, any bug fixes we should cherry pick. But again, we will release it in 2 weeks if we don't have any.
Is there a documentation website yet or not yet?
Yeah, we had a documentation website. So it's currently is kubeflow.org, right?
Yeah, I mean, has it been updated or not? That's what I mean.
Yeah, we put like a lot of docs in the recent month. So, but not about that, Akash. Unfortunately, I need to ask.
You get some docs. Always get docs. You can't launch a feature without docs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so try it out, I guess. And give feedback. Where can they give feedback?
Yeah, Slack channel. Yep.
Cool. Slack. Awesome. Right. Yep. Okay. And I'll write that if you want to do the next one.
Yeah, quickly. So I think like last time I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I think we also try to kind of incorporate this hyperparameter optimization within Kubeflow SDK. So we kind of like agree on the design in this doc, and we have the pending PR. I think the only ask I probably like want to have here on the call, if you're using KDeep in production, let us know. So I saw one user already commented in our Slack channel, but I really want to hear feedback from users who are using KDeep for hyperparameter optimization and whether this makes sense to you. But our goal eventually just to provide a simple way for people to do training and parameter optimization using the single Python SDK. And this cap, I think, has the API design, but if you open it, we can take.
Just highlight that. Yes. The top one or the bottom one?
Yeah, the bottom one. Yeah, sorry, I think just let's open the cap and I will
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
show the design there. Yeah, so the kind of the design, if you scroll a little bit down here. Yeah, so the goal is to have a single train job template which user can define, and this is the similar template how user can perform training. And then like what we hear from data scientists, usually they do hyperparameter optimization at the very end when their training function is complete, where they kind of like, have the entire training script, but they want to optimize something, like some hyperparameters, which means like they don't want to recreate template. So they want to use exactly the same kind of API for training and then for optimization. So that is why we're creating this kind of abstractions called train job template, where they can define trainer, like initializer, runtime, like similar to how they do training today. And then they can use this template to perform training using train function. And then they can perform exactly the same template to perform optimization. So if you scroll a bit down here, it says like, oh, sorry, if you go up, like in the optimizer client. Yes, that's step 2 here. Yep. So yeah, right here, simple version. So taking exactly the same template to perform training, but perform optimization, where they say, I want to run this on 10 trials. This is my search space, and this is my objective. So I'm talking about the step 2 in the very top of your screen. Yeah, this one. Yep. And the objective, like what you want to optimize. That's it. Like they don't need to do anything else. I think this design is quite clear, I hope. Let's see like what users tell, but eventually, this is a simple transition from training to optimization without, having introducing a lot of complexity.
I think last time we talked about maybe it would be helpful to understand what this turns into, from like a design perspective.
Yeah, we added it's actually below. So we added the experiment example. So this is what we will have initially.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
this code above does that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. Because that's what it's doing in the end. It's creating those jobs, right?
Yep. It creates, so right now it will create experiment, and experiment will create trials. Eventually, we want to create a new CRD, but this is still in progress. So for now, we will use the KDeep experiment CRD to perform HPO in Kubeflow SDK.
Cool. Awesome. And how do we keep track of them once they're running?
Yeah, we do. You mean like the runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. So we still have UI. So we have KDeep UI. We also have, the SDK will expose the APIs like get job logs, list jobs, right? So user can always see what they run, or they can go to the UI. But in the UI, they will still, unfortunately, see the experiment concept there, which we want to get rid of eventually. We don't want to have experiment in HPO.
What do you want to have instead?
I think we want to have optimization job, which we have below. This is, I think, probably will be much clearer CRD, because I think, as we discussed, I think with Matteo before, experiment should kind of sit on top of all those ML activities. So whether it's training, HPO, what is data processing or pipelines.
I think we discussed also in notebooks about having an abstracted jobs tab in the notebooks 2.0 section, just so that people can plug there's so many different job types these days. And if this becomes another abstracted job kind, you might be able to, it would have to be plugin. I'm not sure how in this case, but this might also be possible to abstract with and you get the UI for free then with all the notebooks code. But it's just you could obviously build your own one as well, but it just might mean that you don't have to build it.
Yeah, we should definitely, I think we discussed it before with you, right? We should build an extension to list all those jobs within notebooks context.
Or not just in the notebooks. I mean, just there's like a backend API that you'd have to build that the front end could use as well. But then also like just a tab on the sidebar for abstracted jobs, like leader worker sets, jobs, other ones. And then because there's so many, what notebooks often do is submit jobs, So like once you've submitted the job, it's nice to have a centralized place to track them. But which is obviously pulling from Kubernetes. But yeah.
So my perspective that Kubeflow SDK kind of like can be used from Kubeflow notebooks.
That's what I mean though, but without having to go into a specific notebook where it's like, just because it is a CRD, anything where there's like a job CRD that the user has submitted, we could, just starting with basic official jobs and other things. The question was just whether we should have an abstracted jobs tab under the workspaces.
Yeah, so what I kind of hear from users don't want to deal with Kubernetes. That is why we don't really expose CRD to users. So users don't know about API, users don't know about optimization or about train jobs. Users worry about their ML code. And they use, they even don't need to know anything about Kubernetes. Which means like, for example, like right now in the Kubeflow SDK, when you do get job, we don't expose the entire job. We expose the API spec, which is familiar for AI practitioner, who probably needs to know about, what parameters they're optimizing, like what are the metrics, what are other kind of like, ML specific configurations, but not the CRD. Which means like from my perspective, when we go to the UI, similar to what Katip UI currently expose. So Katip UI expose the kind of user-friendly metadata about your jobs, not like, the entire CRD definition.
So that's what I was meaning though, like so that there's like a plugin concept where community provided jobs and official jobs can have automatic extraction things and just show in a table, initially just show in a table.
Yeah, but I don't think, I mean, from my perspective, job and leader worker set and other type of jobs that are kind of like unnecessary for end users. By end users, I mean AI practitioners. So AI practitioners will always create train jobs. They will always create optimization job, and they probably will create, inference service with Kserve. Other types of jobs, they kind of be building blocks for us to build those systems.
But they could also but they could cause problems for you, right? If you've got a big one running and you don't realize in your namespace. That's kind of the question, right? It's like killing them or something.
Yeah, but this is not this is not what ML users should be worried about. Because ML users, they kind of working with, they use Kubernetes, Kubernetes giving them ability to scale their code. Similar to how they're using, like Slurm on API to scale their code across distributed clusters. From my perspective, we should abstract all this complexity from end users to make their experience very, easy to use.
I think there is value to pulling the currently running jobs, but the question of how to do it is the one we haven't figured out, right? Because I think there is often, because in the same way that you say that people don't want Kubernetes, I think this actually abstracts a little, even if you can't create jobs from this UI, if you can only just list them, it still shows you, hey, there is a job that's trying to run but can't because it's got a bunch of pods that are failing or something.
Yeah, so what we try to do in ML experience and all the discussion, we try to don't tell anything about Kubernetes. So users don't need to know about pods, about job sets, leader worker set, all those complexity, like pod failure policies. Users don't need to learn this. And we try to find a way how to, completely abstract it. Because from my perspective, notebooks useful for AI practitioners to develop their interactive, GPU jobs, then to schedule them, then to do XYZ in a way how they do them locally. And I don't think, I don't think any Kubernetes concept should be exposed within this experience. That is what I'm trying to say. Because like if you could, for platform engineers, they're already familiar with kube control. They can always go to, kube control, or, they can use Grafana dashboard and other parts of experience to get this data, but not notebooks.
Yeah, no, when I was meaning notebooks, I mean more like the abstracted concept of the workspaces feature, not so like notebooks as one of the workspaces is like, yes, that interactive thing, but I'm not talking about in that context. I'm just more meaning that in the same way that we have volumes and secrets UIs, we could just also have jobs one. That's kind of what and you'll see what I mean when we demo it, but like not for the jobs, but like for volumes and secrets, it might still help users.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely makes sense. Maybe we can.
It's not about in the notebook itself. It's more like just outside of it. Yeah.
I would love to talk about this on MLX calls.
Cool.
Like maybe like my chief, if you have time to join us to talk about it, because I think this is important. Because I think we have two different personas within Kubeflow, right? And all those personas want to have a different experience. What platform engineers want and what, you know, like AI practitioners want, they have a different set of profilers, which we probably won't expose, but
yeah. Anyway, cool. That's cool. Is there anything else you want to add there? What else do people want to do?
yeah, let's maybe just the calls, right? Like, please join our calls on Wednesdays. It's so next call, I think this Wednesday. Yeah, it's the
So what's
same
the
time.
next step here? Is it like trying to propose this or?
Yeah, we try to release it again before KubeCon. So 0.2 will be before KubeCon. I know that's Sat and Anya, I think they're going to demo it in their talk. So hopefully we can finalize it.
Okay,
So
cool.
our calls, yeah, it's on Wednesday. Yep, I will share this in our meeting notes.
The ML experience calls. Okay, cool. Other than that, I think we've maybe got a quick update on the. Oh, what's happening? Okay. Anything else you want to add about the?
Yeah, maybe graduation, right? Maybe we
Yeah,
can spend
we
5
can
minutes.
quickly go through that. Okay, awesome. Okay, I will reach out to the CNCF. I think we should reach out to George and others and maybe ask the talk to talk about it in the talk meeting, because I think there must be a Google representative on the talk, right? About the migration of that account that hasn't been donated, which should have been.
Yeah, I mean, again, can you imagine today just open the service?
Yeah, I'll open it, but we just needed to put pressure on someone to actually make it happen. They won't respond. Yeah.
Once you open it, I can ping George to ask, you know, if he can push this forward.
We just need to get the account ID, and I believe it is this, because account names are unique, I believe, in Google. So we just need to say, hey, this has the calendar and other GitOps stuff that we needed. Can we get this transferred just like we did the other accounts? Where did we ask to be where did the other ones get transferred to? Is there like a CNCF Google account or something, or?
Yeah, I think right now we have our personal access, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? I don't know either. It's because it'll probably need to get moved out of Google's account, you know, or tenant. I don't know what they call it. Yeah. Okay, we can do that. And then once we do that, we hopefully can fix it pretty quickly. Or if not, then I guess we'll see what happens. But if not, I can chase people down at KubeCon.
So we still need to migrate to the new Zoom account right after KubeCon. I don't know, like if I mean, I think we already give them access, but we just need to ping Ryan again, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the question of how the automated recordings and stuff work. But yeah, I mean, because also the new, if we're going to do that, then we need to set up the new calendar. Yeah. We should set up the groups. There's like working group ones, you know, we need to set up, what are they called? Committees or something for each one. And then assign them as owning specific working group things. Okay. Yep, so the next steps are, yeah, either way we need to try and get that account though, because it also contains the GitOps for other pieces. Okay. Let's also, yeah, you want people to look at the security audit. I believe this obviously is a maintainers only link. Okay, cool. Any other topics here? What's our status? I guess we can check what our current height position is on this. Oh, not this one. This one. Where are we? We're getting higher on the list. They're going through them. Okay.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Like, I think there are more applications being opened, so
It could be that that's the case as well. I'm not sure.
I think some of those projects, Ksurf and Knative has been created, Ksurf has been incubated. I think there are also other projects which move in levels. So let's see how it goes.
Yep. We'll see. Hopefully some movement happens. Who knows if it'll happen before KubeCon? Probably not. Okay. If not, then either way, let's keep going. And is there any other topics we need to talk about other than, as I said, just if you're a maintainer of a group, I guess please go through that PDF. We'll make sure that we do it for notebooks, but others as well. Okay. Anything else, Andre, before we stop?
No, thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.